The first segment of the Hot 7 Nightly News is brought to you by Flow.
Tonight, newly sworn-in Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre vows to keep the island united to maintain a better St. Lucia. Dr. Ernest Hilaire says the SLP administration is in no rush to halt ongoing projects, and a grieving mother awaits the results of DNA tests to ascertain whether dismembered remains of an unidentified individual is her son.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Thursday, the 29th of July, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Nisha Charles. Thank you for joining us. The Ministry of Health and Wellness continues to record cases of COVID-19. On Wednesday, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, explained that an increase in the number of cases being seen will increase over the next few days. A total of 5,567 COVID-19 cases have been diagnosed in country from March 2020 to present.
Over the last 14 days, 95 new cases of COVID-19 were noted. Today, Thursday, July 29, 2021, the Ministry of Health and Wellness received confirmation of 30 new cases of COVID-19 out of 267 samples. These samples were processed on Wednesday, July 28, 2021. The majority of the new cases are from Dennery and Grosley, followed by Castries and Viewfort. At present, the Ministry of Health continues to manage these outbreaks emanating from social activities. It has also been noted that during the past few weeks, there has been an increase in mass crowd activities related to the recent political campaigning and elections. It is anticipated that we will continue to see increases of COVID-19 cases into the month of August. The Ministry of Health has put the necessary measures in place to manage to reduce the possible impact of this COVID-19 spike on our population.
The public is reminded that the 5 community respiratory clinics remain open and people can access testing, treatment and care free of charge. Dr. Belmar-George has reminded the public that COVID-19 remains an imminent threat to society.
The Ministry of Health reminds the public that we are still in a vulnerable position based on the high risk of introduction of COVID-19 and the other variants of concern from the developed countries and our neighboring Martinique. We are also at risk for transmission of COVID-19 in country due to poor compliance to protocols. We note the increase in social activities across the island, especially on the weekends, and the general relaxation of the public health measures. We continue to advise the public to remain vigilant, adhere to the protocols that are put in place to keep us safe from the virus. These include regular hand washing, the use of face masks in public places, covering the mouth, nose, and the chin, and avoiding crowds and also persons with respiratory symptoms, and keeping frequently touched surfaces clean.
The Ministry of Health continues to urge the public to get vaccinated, as it is the safest way to managing this infectious disease. As of July 28th, a total of 32,133 persons have received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and 24,418 have received the second dose of the vaccine. Unity was the theme echoed throughout Philip J. Pierre's first interview as the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, following his swearing-in ceremony. Pierre says that at this present moment, St. Lucia is very divisive and believes that unifying the country is of paramount importance. Pierre says that belief in the country and faith will result in a better St. Lucia.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, in his initial interview as the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, is calling for unity. He says that it is time for the country to come together to achieve our goals collectively. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre asserts that currently the country is divided and it will be his duty as Prime Minister to rally the nation.
The country is very divided and very bitter. We need to bring the country together. The country, we can't continue in this mode of behavior. So I think I have to bring some level of normalcy, some level of togetherness, some level of trust. You can't have in this country, no one seems to trust anybody. You can't trust the government. I always said that if a country cannot trust the words coming from its leader, then something's wrong.
Prime Minister Philip JPA says that the country has major issues to deal with, but with faith and trust, St. Lucia has to and will overcome.
We have serious fiscal issues. We have a $4 billion debt. We have serious issues of unemployment, of crime. But I think if you can get the people together, you can get them to be of one mind, one purpose, and a little more trust, I think we could make it.
Prime Minister Philip JPA says that the people should not suffer for politicians. He further emphasizes that politics is about people and people should not face consequences for not voting for a particular party. For the Hot 7 Nightly News, I am Karim Nelson.
The deputy leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party has indicated that not all projects started under the former government will be stopped. Dr. Ernest Hilaire advised that the SLP government will ensure that assessments are going to be conducted to ascertain the veracity of the various projects that were undertaken.
According to the deputy leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, the SLP will continue with projects commissioned by the former United Workers' Party. Dr. Hilaire says an SLP government will stick to its word that the discontinuing of projects that have already been started would be stopped.
And the last government did so, and we thought it was unacceptable that government must be continuous and that we will allow projects to continue. Of course, we have also indicated that we will review some of the projects, some of the agreements that govern those projects. And we have made mention of DSH, for example, and some of the other projects to ascertain that the agreements made are in fact in the best interest of St. Lucia. So we are not going to go about stopping projects without any understanding of the arrangements that govern those projects. So we will allow projects to continue, and we will certainly, as indicated previously, undertake a review of some of those projects.
The St. Jude's Hospital remains one sore issue for many as successive administrations have failed to complete the hospital. Dr. Hilaire explained that healthcare is of great importance to the incoming government and indicated that works will be allowed to continue. However, assessments will be done.
The Labour Party has made it very clear that it intends to treat healthcare as a top priority, and we will be making major announcements in terms of how we deal with implementing a universal healthcare, which had started under the previous Labour Party government. And like I said, St. Jude's is very critical to the people of the South. We have complained bitterly about the incompletion of the St. Jude Hospital, and it will be a priority for us.
He weighed in on the National Health Insurance, which was proposed by the former government.
They had said that in 2017, and by 2021 they still didn't have that card. So we will review what is on the table, and based on what's on the table, we will then chart the way forward. We are all aware that you've been in opposition. There's not been a lot of disclosure to the public. Like I said, that had been said since 2017. So when we get in, as I indicated previously, healthcare is a priority for us. And we will review all the arrangements that have been made for universal healthcare and the card that they speak about, and we will decide the best way forward.
Dr. Hilaire explained that the new government will be one of inclusivity, and all ideas brought forward that will benefit the country will be considered, assessed, and implemented as seen fit. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Conta.
On Friday, 23rd July, officers attached to the Grosley police station found what appeared to be human remains in Grosley. One mother says she is certain that the remains are that of her missing son. Lisa Charles says she last saw her 24-year-old son more than 2 weeks before the discovery was made. She says while she awaits results from a DNA swab, she knows that the results will confirm her fears.
One family says the discovery of remains of body parts in Grosley has intensified their fears that their missing sibling is now dead. Lisa Charles told Hot 7 that it has been 18 days since she last saw her son. On Friday 23rd, officers at the Grosley Criminal Investigations Department responded to a call indicating that an apparent human skull was found in Marysill. A further search of the area resulted in the finding of a badly decomposed body. Charles says upon hearing the news of the discovery of the body, she immediately knew that it was her son.
I gave them a description. They said that they found the slippers, the bag, and I think the phone. I'm not too sure of the phone. But today was a postmortem, and the DNA, I did DNA swabs today. So that's what I'm waiting on, just to confirm it. It's him for sure, but everything that they found, it belongs to him. And the body is very decomposed. Very decomposed.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is yet to determine the identity of the body found. Charles says her son was not one to stay away from home for so long.
Wherever he go, whatever he do, he makes sure he would message me after 3 days. Now I saw him, the last time I saw him was Saturday around after 7 after coming from work. He passed me, I came off the bus, he passed me, just touched my nose, and he entered a vehicle. But I didn't take that for anything because I normally know how he moves, what does he do. And if he goes anywhere after 3 days, I will know. He will message me telling me, don't bust my head, he's safe. But something went wrong on the weekend, right? I saw him the Saturday, did not see him the Sunday. The Monday, I messaged him Sunday, Monday no answer. The Tuesday when I came from work, I was like, that's not him. I keep on calling him, no answer. Then I went to his friend. He told me they haven't seen him. So then, okay. I said, okay. So then I keep on calling and messaging him. I said, no, that's not my bird. My bird will not stay 4 days away from me. Right? And everything of his is at my home the same way. So the first day, I went to the station to make a report. Then, from the report I waited, still no answer, until Saturday, the second week, I think the 15th day, I got the news on the 15th day that they got the body of Rosalie Cyrus.
Charles reflected that a few years ago she lost her brother in a similar fashion. She says this time, however, she has been left with a void that will never be filled.
My brother, a couple years ago, I was tragic, but my son, that's my heart. Like inside me, I'm empty. That's a piece of my heart that gone there. My second son, he's 24. We all know Tariq, Poppy, aka Poppy. He was well known, very nice, very jovial. To me, he was my world. I know he was my world, and he is my world. Like I always call him my bird, and he'll always be my bird. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But justice, the Lord will prevail that, not me. Yeah, man. Days of God. Justice will be served. And the Almighty sees and knows everything. Yeah, man.
A post-mortem was conducted on Wednesday afternoon. Charles says she is awaiting the results and looks forward to getting closure and burying her son. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
And do stay with us. There's more news after the break.
The first segment of the Hot 7 Nightly News was brought to you by Flow.